This YCN segment is brought to you by LaValle Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stow, joined this week by Dustin Ribellini. Dustin, thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
2 weeks in a row for you.
Thanks for having me. I must have done something right. I didn't pick the games right, but we'll get into that later.
And as you can tell, we are on location here at Ramonto's in Claremont, New Hampshire, downtown Claremont, Ramonto's. Busy place back there, and we'll be broadcasting our show from here. So thanks for joining us. We'll dive right in to the AFC playoffs. First, we'll talk some Patriots. Before we get to the championship game, just your initial reaction, thoughts on that game against the Titans. Obviously a big winner, 35-14. Not a huge surprise, but what did you see in that game that you might maybe a little surprised about?
Yeah, the game started a little bit slow for the Patriots. Titans scored first, 7-0 lead. So you're thinking maybe it's going to be a game. But then the Patriots offense came right down, tied the game up. Then you really saw the defense take over. 8 sacks on the night. A franchise record, I believe.
Yes.
Really put pressure on Mariota right from the start. Took him out of their game. And the Titans are a team that can run first. And they were taken out of their run game right off the bat.
Well, that's the big thing. We'll talk about that going forward, how both teams have to stay in their game plan. But the big thing that I focused on was that fourth down punt play that the Patriots drew the Titans off sides, and then that kind of started that momentum because you're right, they were losing, and it looked like it might be a back-and-forth game, but then the Patriots just took over. So we read about it all week, that the Patriots, if they play their game, they're the best team. Same thing this week. If they play their game, they're the best team. But the Jaguars, we saw what they could do in Pittsburgh, and you got to respect this defense. They play fast and they come at you.
They came out of the gates really strong, and offensively, the way they ran the football in that first quarter really took the Steelers right out of their game plan. And then they let that defense take over. We saw the big fumble return for a touchdown that when it looked like the Steelers were going to get back in the game before half, really put the game out of reach. This team, young team, inexperienced, what you really worry about. Going into New England in a championship game against a team that's been there, done that over and over again, it's going to be very hard for this Jaguars team to win. But hey, I think they are the better team. I think they're a worse matchup from the Patriots standpoint.
Right. And looking at that matchup, as you mentioned, the Patriots and Jaguars, if you're the Patriots, obviously you're the better team. You're supposed to win the game. But what is the key that is the best chance for the Patriots to win their game and win by 10 or 14 points?
I think what you got to do is you got to start by running the ball. We know how good the Jaguars secondary is.
Right.
Jalen Ramsey is a very good player. Boye in the secondary is very good. Their run defense, good, not as great as their pass defense.
Right.
I think if the Patriots can run early with Dion Lewis, James White, we saw another great playoff performance from him. If they can run early and set up the pass with that, I think they'll be successful. And then on same game plan on defense. I think you make the Titans beat you through the air, kind of eliminate Fournette. Easier said than done.
Right.
But make it a passing game. Try to make Blake Bortles beat you and get that pass rush going again.
And one thing that you mentioned is that rushing defense not as good. They're kind of mid-pack, mid-league, maybe towards the bottom. Another thing that they don't defend as well is the passes to the wide receiver or to the tight ends and to the running backs. Same thing that the Titans didn't defend. And we saw Dion Lewis and we saw Gronk. And that just seems like if the Patriots focus on their game plan and get it to Gronk, it's going to be really hard for the Jaguars to stop that matchup or out Dion Lewis out of the backfield.
Well, both those guys are matchup problems for anybody. Same with James White. So if the Patriots, I don't think you're going to see Brandon Cooks have a big day against Ramsey. I don't think you're going to see Amendola have as big a game as he did this past weekend. But I think you're going to see Gronk more heavily involved, and like you said, still get those passes out of the backfield. Because the one thing that Tom Brady's going to have to do is get the ball out quick. Because this pass rush is very good, and the secondary very good. You have to get quick passes over the middle, outside to kind of open things up.
All right, and as we know, that's why they play the games. Jaguars have a chance to win this game.
Oh, sure.
Let's not fool ourselves.
Sure.
What do they have to do other than sticking to their game plan for Fournette to win this game on the road, their second big upset in 2 weeks?
They're going to have to get some turnovers, and they're going to have to. The biggest thing is stay in the game early. We saw the Titans lead 7-0 early in the game, but then they just kind of got wiped off the mat. You got to have this game at halftime within one score, and hopefully get it tied, maybe going into the fourth quarter. But the biggest thing is if you can't pressure and create any turnovers, it's going to be a long day. Because in the past, that's the one thing the Patriots do really well. They don't turn the ball over.
Right.
You have to make Tom Brady uncomfortable. We saw the 2 times the Giants played him in the Super Bowl. They pressured him. They got some turnovers. That's the Jaguars' only hope. And on offense, you got to stay balanced. You can't. If it becomes one-dimensional, Blake Bortles not going to solely win this game.
Right. If you get down, if the Jaguars get down 7-0, even 14-0, they can't abandon the run. They got to continue to give it to Fournette and trust him. He's the one who got him there. got to trust them. Even if you're down, you can't abandon your game plan. So it's going to be a good game, I think, on Sunday. I do think the Patriots, obviously, they have the upper hand. We'll make our picks later in the show, but I think the Jaguars we better be ready for them because they are going to have a good matchup in Foxborough on Sunday. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. We'll talk the NFC Championship game. Maybe a little bit of a surprise in that one, Vikings and Eagles. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.